Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological site. I'm going to be talking about the transit Sun conjunct one's natal Chiron. Now, the thing about this transit is, remember, when you have the Sun involved in a transit and conjunction, this is a very strong focus, attention, and concentration of energy on the astrological energy that it is contacting, that is, it's conjoining. Since we're talking about Chiron, this could be very strong focus, attention, and concentration of energy. It could be on physical, emotional wounds. I mean, if it's an Aries, it could be something physical like the head, the skull, Taurus, the neck, the thyroid, something, throat area, Gemini, arms, hands, shoulders. Maybe there's something in by the lungs that needs some kind of incision or even surgery. I mean, this is Chiron is more significant than people give it credit for. I made a tweet online one time where I tweeted one of my videos, and it was involving. It may have been a Chiron transit. It was something with Chiron, and somebody wrote, "Who cares?" And well, you tell Heather Locklear that when she had the transit. Um, well, she doesn't really follow astrology probably, but I don't know, but she had transit Chiron very close to her ascendant when there was some talk on the internet, something about at least she had contemplated suicide, and it was in Aries, and Aries is gunfire, and it's very volatile energy. So you could do the math. This is more important than people give it credit for. Now another thing, when you have this transit though, this is this could also be about a very strong focus on, it could be emotional wounds you could be dealing with. I mean, if this is in Gemini, say it could be on, maybe there was some difficulty in assimilating information. It could be through harsh witticisms. If it's in Gemini, um, Scorpio could be very vindictive, sadistic behavior. This is also a time too. I mean, Chiron is also about our just general, could be general suffering. If it's in Taurus, it could be over some monetary situation. Maybe it's the values one had that might be hurting them. It could be something dealing, with issues. Maybe there's lack of persistence or perseverance. In the 12th house, it could be one's self-undoing. If somebody has it in the 12th house, it's something that is probably more hidden than for most people. It's something that they might suppress and have some difficulty talking about with others. The 12th house is the house of what's hidden, and it's also secret sorrows. Now, also, too, though, on a positive note, this transit can also put a very strong focus on healing others. I mean, again, going back to the zodiac sign Gemini, it could be in issues of communication. Maybe it has to do with assimilation, maybe learning, helping others learn, assimilate information, being more well-rounded, more versatile. It's also it's very healing energy, very helping energy in Aquarius. It could be about selflessness and altruism, humanitarian efforts. Um, Aquarius is also the sign of innovation. Maybe you could put something together using your doing something innovative, maybe to help somebody out. Do like a MacGyver. There's one episode he had like a use some kind of lens to deflect a laser. It's like a lens off of your glasses or some weird thing to deflect the laser. But I'm being flippant. But there's ways. I mean, Aquarius, again, very innovative energy that could be. If it's an Aquarius, it could be done through using some kind of ingenuity. Now, another thing too, this is also, Chiron is also connected with diminished self-esteem, self-worth, how you feel about yourself. If it's in Aries, it could be due to lack of courage and fortitude. I have this in Aries, and I think a lot of my suffering, it's in my 12th house of self-undoing and secret sorrows. It really makes things hard to talk about for me that are associated with this. And the thing about it is, if this is something in the zodiac sign Cancer is another example, well, that could be some issues with family or over introversion, being overly sensitive to criticism and ridicule. It's also about ineptitude. It can be an area in our life where there's some sort of lack and we may be inept at. If it's in Taurus, it could be generating money. It could be inability, for self-reliance. If it's in Capricorn, it could be over some career ambitions, lacking consistency in your life, lacking structure and discipline in the home. It could be the lack. You have this, say, in the zodiac sign Capricorn in your fourth house of home. It could be issues connected with lack of structure and discipline in your home life. Um, this is also something where we can put a focus on a very deep and powerful hurt. It could be like a laser hitting this part of our life and really where it comes to light more, these hurts more so than usual, whether it could be a reminder from a friend or an acquaintance. It could be seeing somebody maybe that might give you an unpleasant reminder of some adverse situation, maybe that caused a powerful hurt. And again, going to Aries, the fact I have this in Aries, it could be a lot of my issues, I would say, would be attributed to lack of assertiveness, lack of aggression, maybe impulsiveness or outspokenness at an inopportune time. I do have it in the house of self-undoing, so it's a lot of it is self-inflicted. Um, the thing is, the fact, like in my case, I have this transit, and I do have my Chiron again in Aries in the 12th house in my natal chart. As an example, this is, keep in mind, the sun is about our drive, our motivation. So when I have this transit, this could be about giving others, being motivated and driven to give others the courage to really to combat their hidden adversaries, to to work through fears, basically to have the courage in order to do so. Remember, the 12th house is the house of fears, and it's also the house of hidden adversaries and enemies. So anyway, now another thing too is when we're talking about transits of the sun, it can involve what we're going to shine the light on. Now, in some cases, this could manifest in shining the light, so to speak, on a physical or emotional wound. If this is in Leo, it could be something physically. It could be something like the heart, the upper back, the spine. Uh, if this is something, Leo could also be maybe not having the backbone, so to speak, to do certain things in one's life. If it's in Leo, as far as an emotional wound would go, it could be matters. It could be lack of fortitude. It may have something to do with issues connected with pride, with ego, maybe being demoralized, being embarrassed, a situation which gained a lot of negative attention, the one that you didn't really want. Maybe there were some issues with lack of extroversion and gregariousness that maybe have hurt the person. I mean, say, for example, I'll take another example. Let's say this falls, you have this transit in Taurus in your 8th house. Now, this could be manifested some issues with the neck physically, because Chiron could be about physical wounds. It could shine the light, so to speak, on a physical issue with the neck, the throat, the thyroid, maybe. And remember, it might be issues connected with stability and emotional, moral, monetary support. If Taurus is stable, that's very synonymous with the sign. And the 8th house is the house of support, which includes moral, emotional, and monetary support. It could also be some suffering you may be going through lack of composure. Composure is Taurus. In a crisis situation, the 8th house is the house of crisis. Now, another way this could manifest at this time, remember, the sun is about the biological father and children. Now, in some cases, sadly, this may pan out in one or more of these people, might figure prominently in your own suffering, your emotional wounds, the pain that you may be enduring. In some isolated cases, it could be physical pain. If the situation, in some cases, may be contentious with a child, with the biological father. I mean, domestic things are obviously, they're very prevalent, sadly. I believe they are in the United States, especially. I can't speak for all countries, but in the United States, it is fairly prominent. You have a lot of this going on. Uh, I mean, it could be some, you're talking about, I'll give you an example. Um, I mean, as far as, the biological father or a child may actually, maybe they could be a reminder of some suffering you may be going through. Maybe they exacerbate something. Like, say, if this is in Gemini, it could be dissipating the self to a lack of an integrated purpose. And the way one or both these people, more of these people could be playing a role in that, they might be causing some distraction to you. Maybe you're not able to follow up on things because of the diversion. Hold on a moment. Now, remember, the sun is also about our life. It can be about something in your life that is suffering. Again, going back to the zodiac sign Gemini, it could be connected with slander, some prevarication, gossip. Maybe a lack of persistence is really hitting home with the person. I mean, if it's in Pisces, it could be something connected with drugs or alcohol, some deception, duplicity. It could be due to confusion and ambivalence about your life being maybe very nebulous and unclear in general. Say, this is also can be about seeing the person, a person, so to speak. Maybe it's connected with a problem you experienced in your past. That was, obviously could have been something to your detriment, and you might take a different, like, vantage point on it at this point in time. The sun, it's about seeing, because the sun, of course, rules the left or the right eye depending on gender. And when you look at it from a figurative standpoint, it's about what we see. So it could be taking something at a different vantage point. If it's in Pisces, as an example, this could be about maybe somebody that you saw one time is very deceptive, very duplicitous, but now you're maybe seeing the person a little slightly different light. Maybe you're seeing, the compassionate sign, and remember, Pisces is the sign of forgiveness. So it might be more of a focus on forgiving this person, maybe for causing any suffering with you. Now, and again, I mean, going back to the fact that, I mean, the sun is connected with the left or the right eye depending on gender. It could be like blurry vision if you have this transit in Pisces. Remember, Chiron is connected with wounds, suffering. It can be physical ones. It might be, if it's something like Gemini, could be double vision. Aquarius could be very erratic twitch. It could be some intermittent twitch you might be dealing with. Now, also, too, the sun in astrology is also about our vitality and energy. So this could be a time when you have this transit where, since Chiron can be about suffering and some physical wounds, and it can diminish vitality and energy at the time. This time there might be some issues with your energy level more so than usual. It can be some kind of, obviously some physical related issue, because the sun is also associated with physical matters too. And if it's in Leo, there might be some issue again with the heart, the spine, the upper back. If it's in Virgo, it might be the spleen, the pancreas. There is, I mean, it's just a lot of it, of course, is predicated and dependent on the sign that it is in. And keep in mind, too, a lot of this, or these things go more smoothly, or they don't. A lot of that could be predicated and dependent on aspects that are made to points in your natal chart, say a sextile or trine to your natal Jupiter. A lot of this could manifest into something more auspicious and favorable. It can, I mean, if there's any kind of surgery or injury, it might heal quicker. Maybe surgery goes better. Um, it can manifest in more just positive energy in connection with this, such as maybe not just shining a light on some suffering, but able to do something about it. Let's say it makes an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn. Well, that might give a little bit more difficulty, and these things that that are connected with the transit of the Sun to the natal Chiron, they might be might require more laborious effort to actually work through, and it might be more arduous. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.